Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
From Caravel High School in Bear, Delaware, it's Top 10 Softball. Tonight, 302 Sports presents 12-1 and second-ranked Appoquinimink High School versus number 1 ranked Caravel at 9-1. Both teams undefeated against in-state competition, and both of them have their only loss coming to out-of-state Rising Sun, Maryland. I'm Glenn Fraser alongside Shannon Timmons for what should be a great matchup. These two have faced each other several times in the regular season over the years. Caravel has won the last 2 years, 7-2 and 10-8. Appo won the 2021 meeting by a score of 5-1. Let me bring in my broadcast partner, Shannon Timmons. And Shannon, let's start with the visiting Jags. Ayla McCathern's numbers are outstanding.
They are. She's been really impressive this year, especially in-state, posting a .76 ERA. She's going to throw a nice mix of pitches, and you know what's great about her is she just stays so calm in the circle regardless of what's going on, and she just goes to work for Appo.
124 strikeouts for Ayla. Opponents batting only 140 against her on the season. They are solid up and down the lineup. When I talked to Brian Timpson and I was putting together my preseason story for Delaware Live Sports, he said, Glenn, we're going to be carried by Ayla in the circle and maybe a handful, 1, 2, 3 batters offensively as he flips the bat at home plate. That's a trademark of his after they have infield warm-ups. But you look up and down that lineup, there are some lofty batting averages.
Absolutely. Anybody who can post a lineup that the lowest batting average is .269 at this point of the season is doing something. So credit to the Jags and what they're able to do at the plate and produce, and that's put them in the situation that they're in. It will be interesting tonight to see how they handle the pitching from Caravel.
And speaking of Caravel, they also have a very balanced offense, and it all starts with their fine third baseman, Haley Grigo.
Grigo's played so well. We've seen her in the past, and she's just continuing to take that lead role this year. And it's just a beast, you know. She just goes to work, and not only for herself, but she goes to work for her team. She's in that leadership role. She's helping her teammates out. She's giving them tips, giving them clues. So we'll see how she produces tonight. Zeta Rock back off an injury from last year. She's back. She's hitting .385. She's doing very well. And unfortunately, they've had an injury, so there's a little bit of a shakeup in the lineup for Caravel at this point. But we'll see how that plays out for them tonight.
Of course, in the circle for head coach Randy Johnson is Casey Zanitis. Now, she hasn't worked every inning. There are a couple of girls that come in and spell her and get some innings. One of them is the 8th grader, Kaylee Arrowsmith. She has a 1.135 ERA, and she has struck out 16 batters in 12 innings. And it's one thing I noticed when I look at the numbers for their starter, Casey Zanitis. She has 41 Ks in 41 innings. So she's not really a strikeout pitcher. She pitches to contact.
She does, and she lets her defense work behind her. You know, as a pitching coach, we always say there's 7 people standing behind you for a reason. So if you go ahead and pitch to contact, let your defense work, and that's what she's been able to do. It's nice flexibility for Randy Johnson and his crew to have Kaylee Arrowsmith, and I'll apologize to her. I said Arrowhead in the last broadcast that we had, but her last name is Arrowsmith. So Kaylee, I apologize for that. But, you know, they have some options and some flexibility in the circle, and we saw that last year. Casey paired up with Morgan Maxwell on several occasions, and that was able to kind of prolong them through the season and give them a little bit of longevity in the pitching circle. Pitchers get tired this time of year when they throw every inning of every game. So we know that Randy Johnson always boasts a big lineup here. We have it on 2 pages tonight, as a matter of fact. And we'll see quite a bit of his team. You know, he uses his players. He has them on his roster, and he goes ahead and uses them. So we'll see what they can do against the Jags tonight.
Both of these teams are hot right now. Appo has won 4 straight since that loss to Rising Sun. In that span of 4 games, they've outscored the opposition 41-1, while the Buccaneers, they're riding a 3-game streak. 34-2, they've outscored the 3 opponents in that span. Now, Caravel has not played a game in 11 days. That have any kind of effect on them at all?
Well, I would like to say yes, but when you look at a team like Caravel, the quality practices they put in, I'm going to say no, actually. You know, a lot of teams that would affect the time off, but I think they just go to work every day and try to get better every single day, and I don't think that affects them. Randy's a coach that usually doesn't even start his season till most schools have 3, 4, 5 games played. So he is used to having that long run where there's a gap between games, and they seem to make out fine. So I wouldn't expect anything different.
You might ask and wonder, okay, why haven't they, Glenn, played a game in 11 days? Well, they were supposed to play Laurel on Saturday. That game's been postponed, will be replayed later on in the season. Speaking of the season, we only have really about 2 weeks left in the regular season. So both of these teams only have a handful of games left. Appo has 4 games left. They will face number 10 Smyrna and number 6 St. Mark's in those 4 games. And for Caravel, they still have that makeup game with Laurel, and we're going to see them again on a live broadcast a week from tonight, or a Monday night, as they're down to Cape Henlopen and another real hot team.
And that's a makeup game. Yeah, Cape's just come on fire here lately. They are able to put the ball in play. They just had a big win over Polytech the other day as another Henlopen North team. So they're on fire right now. It'll be interesting to see that rematch because Cape and Caravel saw each other early in the season. Caravel came out on top in that situation, and we'll see if Cape's able to make any adjustments or how they fare on Monday.
The Appo players are being announced to the crowd here soon. It will be the Caravel Buccaneers' turn. We want to let you know this is our First State Ortho game of the week. Number 1 against number 2. First State Orthopedics with 46 physicians and 22 physician assistants at 16 locations. They provide surgical and non-surgical treatment for a variety of orthopedic conditions. They're trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques, serving as team physicians for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, many local recreation and competitive leagues as well. Their doctors are available to all local emergency departments, medical aid, and urgent care centers for consult and treatment. Call 302-731-2888 or visit firststateortho.com. Please mention you heard their ad and saw it right here on Delaware Live Sports. All right. Starting lineups, rosters being announced. We're going to do the same. We'll begin with the visiting Appo Jags. Leading off at shortstop is Mia Boyd. Lauren Foltz, the second baseman, will bat second. The third baseman, Brianna Russo, in the 3-hole. And batting cleanup, an interesting player, a freshman, the designated player today, Clugston. And we talked to Coach Timpson, Shannon, before we went on the air, and he said, hey, she's had a hot bat, and I'm just riding the hot bat right now. She's earned her spot in the lineup.
And that's incredible to see one of the younger players just work throughout the season and earn that playing time.
Following her, batting fifth will be Parajon. Parajon is that's Maddie Parajon. She's a sophomore. She'll be out in right field. In left field, batting after her is Brooke Widows, and then the first baseman, Sophia Miller, followed by center fielder Sophia Watson, and the catcher, Emma Sapola. And interestingly enough, she's batting ninth. She almost leads the team in batting average. It's amazing. She's hitting .576 and leads the team with 19 hits. That's the starting lineup for Appo. Caravel defensively will have Casey Zanitis in the circle and Zeta Rock behind the dish. Peyton Rice at first, Leah Richardson at second, Kenzie Hunter at short, Haley Grigo at third, Peyton Lawston in left, Katrina Barron in center, and Paige Richardson in right field. All right, the starting lineup we have for the visiting team, the starting defense, will be back for the start of this game right after this word on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy.
But have you tried Premier? Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy.
But have you tried Premier? Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy.
But have you tried Premier?
We are not sharing.
Okay, that's fine. All right, we're back here after the playing of our national anthem. Really nice evening here. Very comfortable at Caravel Academy for our softball matchup here tonight. Also here with us tonight, most of the 302 sports crew out here at Caravel Academy. A lot going on. There's a baseball game going on as well as a lacrosse game. Jason Winchell is producing. Mike Lang on camera, still photography by Nick Halliday. As Caravel has taken the field. Once again, defensively in the outfield from right to left. Paige Richardson, Barron, and Lawston. First base, Rice at second, Leah Richardson at short, Hunter, Grigo at third, Zanitis in the circle, and Zeta Rock behind the plate. And the first 3 batters, Boyd, Foltz, and Russo to face Casey Zanitis here. Number 1 against number 2. We've had pretty much Caravel number 1 all season long in our rankings. Appo was 3rd for most of the year till Sussex Central dropped a few games, and we moved them up to the 2 spot, and they've remained there.
Yeah, and interestingly, Glenn, this Caravel team graduated their entire infield minus Haley Grigo over at third base. So some of these young kids have stepped in and learned the Caravel way, as we like to call it, and have been able to produce and be successful. I definitely would, if you're on, with us tonight, pay attention to their first baseman, Peyton Rice, who's playing very well. She's their flex player, so you won't see her bat tonight, but she is playing first base. You have Leah Richardson at second base. Her sister right behind her out in right field. They lost Brooklyn last year as a senior. And obviously Veronica Diamidi was an all-state shortstop they lost. And Kenzie Hunter has tried to step in and fill that role just as a freshman. So they're fairly young in the infield, and they've been playing very well behind Casey.
Yeah, we heard Randy Johnson tell us only 9 errors committed in their 10 ball games. That's very impressive. All right, here we go to start the game. Zanida's first delivery. That's a called strike. Tamia Boyd, the shortstop for Appo.
Zanitis is spinning the ball very well. She likes to hit the corners. She has a changeup, a little bit of off speed. We'll see her go to that from time to time. But she has been spinning the ball very well in the circle and can hit the corners.
She missed low with her second pitch, so a 1-1 count on Mia Boyd, who comes in batting .375. She scored 21 runs in Appo's 13 games. Fouls that one off. A ball and 2 strikes.
I want to say she follows suit as the shortstop at Appo of a familiar shortstop, Glenn, with speed. Seems to be those kids. He always puts them at shortstop for some reason. I don't know why, but those girls can fly. And, of course, we're talking about Glenn's granddaughter, Taylor, that played for Appo.
That misses high, ball 2. Now, Taylor, of course, she's a natural righty, but early on in Little League, the parents got some training, and they turned her around to be a slapper from the left side, which really helped her beat out a lot more hits.
When you're that fast, you don't have to try that hard.
Ooh, that was a nice inside pitch, and she got Boyd swinging.
And tough play behind the plate. Zeta Rock to hold on to that. Great job.
That brings up the second baseman, Lauren Foltz. Foltz comes into the ball game batting .378. She has 14 RBIs on the year, and she takes a called strike.
I think one of the things that makes Zanitis so effective is she's a little bit sneaky with some of her pitches. She's a little bit faster this year than I think she threw last year. She's got great spin on the ball, and the faster you throw, the harder it spins, the better it breaks. So I think she's been a little bit sneaky this year in the circle, and just has kept hitters really off balance with her mix of pitches.
She got out in front of Foltz 0-2, missed outside for a ball on the 0-2 pitch. If I remember right, she started last year's game, and then Maxwell came in and relieved her.
She did.
That 7-2 win. That misses high. Count runs 2-2. Waiting on deck, the third baseman, Brianna Russo for Appo.
Morgan Maxwell has moved on to a high school down in North Carolina. But Kaylee Aerosmith has stepped right into that role for Caravel.
Another foul out of play. 2-2 count holds on Foltz. Speaking of North Carolina, that's what I will be leaving in the wee hours of the morning. Head down for the CAA softball tournament. University of Delaware, the number 2 seed, they were in first place most of the year. That missed outside. The count runs full. And then they were swept by first-year CAA member Campbell last weekend at home over in Newark, Delaware, so they fell to the number 2 spot. Some local talent on that University of Delaware team.
Yeah, a couple of players that have graced this field for their 4 years of high school.
And there's the backwards K. Caught looking was Foltz. Looked like it's something a little bit off speed there. So 2 batters, 2 strikeouts for Casey Zanitis. That brings up Russo, the third baseman, comes in batting .444 with 4 home runs and 16 RBIs.
Casey doing a good job so far this evening of getting ahead of those hitters, and that really gives her flexibility to throw. We talk about expanding the strike zone for pitchers. When you're ahead, you can play around a little bit and really expand the zone and see if you can get hitters to chase.
There's a shot left side. Nice backhanded stab.
Nice pick by Kenzie Hunter, the shortstop.
And that will end the top half of the first. So 3 up, 3 down. A perfect inning for Casey Zanitis. 2 strikeouts, no hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left on base. We go to the bottom half of the first. And the Caravel Buccaneers sending to the plate first their center fielder, Katrina Barron. And then it'll be Aaliyah Richardson, the second baseman, followed by third baseman Haley Grigo. Yeah, that was well-struck ball by Russo, and just a nice backhanded stab by Kenzie Hunter.
And I've been fortunate to watch Caravel play a few games this year, and Kenzie Hunter, just that new young freshman stepping into that role. You know, sometimes they struggle early on, and what you expect is them to come into their own as the season goes on and to be able to field. And Haley Grigo has certainly been a mentor to her over there on the infield on the left side. And so to see her make that play is just watching that growth and that progression is awesome. That's what coaches always shoot for, and you want to see your players just get better and better. And if they peak at the right time, then we see them in the tournament.
You know, we were talking earlier before we came on the air, and Jason Winchell was telling us that Caravel Academy is playing lacrosse right across from us here, and they are the only undefeated team left in Delaware. Well, they are losing at the half to Smyrna, 9-1. Smyrna, a very strong team with only 2 losses to strong programs, Cape Henlopen and Cesar Rodney, perennial boys lacrosse powers, not only in the Henlopen but in the state of Delaware. Got a couple of relatives over there watching the matchup, so I'll be getting scoring updates on that big matchup. We've got one right here, number 1 and number 2. Caravel coming up to bat against Ayla McCathern. McCathern with 124 strikeouts in 13 games, and opponents batting just 140 against her. First batter to face her, Katrina Barron, the center fielder. First pitch just missed for a ball.
Ayla's done some pitching for the Jags in her prior seasons for Brian Timpson as a junior this year, stepping into the circle, really kind of taking over that role.
Well, a nice little diving catch out there by the left fielder for Smyrna, Brooke Widows.
So McCathern taking over a lot of the pitching duties, and she'll spin the ball well. She has a quick arm circle, which is difficult sometimes for hitters to time her up.
Now batting the second baseman, Leah Richardson. Leah with a .344 batting average, has scored 12 runs in 10 games. And she takes low for a ball. So McCathern has gotten behind both batters so far. There's a foul back. Evens the count at 1-1. Grigo is on deck. These two programs have been solid for years now. Credit Randy Johnson and Brian Timpson for what they've done with these programs.
They are competitive year in and year out, and to sustain that, you know, everybody talks about getting to the top. It's even harder to stay there. And these are two programs that have been able to do that. Timpson winning a state championship and keeping the program at a high level of excellence. And it's so hard to do as players interchange in and out. You know, you lose them to graduation. We're not recruiting players in like a college team would be. So you're making the best of what rolls through your door. And those two coaches have definitely done that with their programs.
Swing and a miss and a strikeout from McCathern. Second out of the inning brings up the third baseman, Haley Grigo, batting .500 on the season. 2 homers, 18 runs scored, 9 stolen bases, and she'll be headed to Wilmington University.
She was 1 hit short of going for the cycle in the game I was here for against Oxford, PA.
She fouls the first one down the first base side, now to play. Sorry, I have to correct you, but Brian Timpson has not won a state championship.
I'm sorry.
They went to a title game.
They went to the title game.
And lost to a very strong Smyrna team that year. And I think that's his only title game appearance. But again, he's done a great job of the program, no doubt. Low pitch called strike, so Grigo's in the hole, 0-2. Zeta Rock on deck should Grigo reach. Here's McCathern's 0-2 pitch. Misses outside, and I think we had time before the pitch.
Yeah, the umpire had called time. I just don't think she saw him.
Yeah.
Again, she gets in the circle and goes to work. Has that quick delivery,
Yeah.
much like a Madge Layfield.
Right.
They don't waste time. When they get ready to take off, they just take off.
Once again, the 0-2 pitch. Trying to get Grigo to swing at something out of the zone. She did not. A ball and 2 strikes. If you're just joining us, we're in the bottom half of the first. There's no score in this game. There's a line shot right at the center fielder. Oh, she almost had it, and when she dove and hit the ground, it popped out. Great try by Sophia Watson, but couldn't hold on. Brings up Zeta Rock, the catcher.
And you know, Glenn, that is why you always teach your hitters to run everything out. You just never know what's going to happen, which lands Speedy Grigo over at second base. Even though that ball was hit directly to center field, she's able to capitalize on that mistake.
That's a tough one for the official score. I think I'm going to have to call that a double. It would have been an outstanding catch, as there's a swinging strike on Zeta Rock. And you're right, and Grigo was hustling right out of the box. Swing and a miss, so 0-2 count once again on the consecutive batters for McCathern.
Took her a couple batters. She's settled in to be able to find the zone, and that's one of the things pitchers have to do every single night is figure out the strike zone for that umpire in that particular game.
Little check swing there. Count holds 0-2 on Rock. Grigo at second, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Another foul back as Rock battling up there.
And again, when you are ahead as a pitcher, it's time to expand the zone, see if they'll chase. Just makes life easy. When you're ahead as a pitcher, it's very comfortable, and they feel like they have the confidence to go ahead and mix their pitches and throw.
Another foul ball, and that's behind the Appo dugout. First base side had a play.
Quality at bat here for Zeta Rock.
Right. This will be pitch number 6 coming up. She's fouled off 3 in a row, trying to get the timing down. And she does. Deep, left center, hits the bottom of the fence. Grigo scores easily, and Rock will just motor into second base with a stand-up double, and it's 1-0 Caravel.
Nice line drive right out here, and just bounced off the bottom of the fence.
That'll bring up Paige Richardson, the right fielder. Paige batting .407, 13 RBI on the season, and she's going to go to Del Tech next year, continue playing softball. So great job there by Zeta Rock, fouling off, timing it up, and then she just ripped one.
And you're seeing the line drives come off the bats of these Caravel hitters. They're going to have to make adjustments as the evening goes on to continue to do that. A lot of that has to do with pitch selection and just getting the timing down on Ayla.
1-1 count on Paige Richardson. Zeta Rock at second with that RBI double. Swing and a miss again. A ball and 2 strikes. So McCatherine has been able to get ahead of the last 3 batters. However, the last 2 have doubled off her. Check swing. No, they're going to call a 3rd strike, and that will end the bottom half of the first. So on 2 doubles, a run across with 2 outs, and that's when the damage is done for the home team Caravel Buccaneers. We'll be right back to start the second inning after this break. It's 1-0 Caravel Buccaneers.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We love Ferris.
Well, we're back here to start the second inning of action. Appoquinimink will send up the designated player, freshman Kaylee Clugston, who has a .611 batting average. She's 11 for 18. Has not been playing all season. Coach inserted her about midway through the season because of her hot bat. She'll be up first, followed by the right fielder Parajon and Brooke Widows, the left fielder, to face Casey Zanitis, who had a 1-2-3 first inning.
And I'm excited to see this kid hit tonight, Glenn. Just talking to Coach Timpson before the game. Sounds like she's come in and has become an impact player for her team, and that's all you can ever ask for, is the opportunity to earn, a playing position or a starting position, and seems as though she's done that, and I'll be excited to see what she's able to do here this evening.
And not only getting playing time, Shannon, but batting in the 4-hole. Called strike on a pitch up in the zone. So Clugston in the hole, 0-2 on Zanitis. And she swung at a low and outside pitch. She goes down. 3rd strikeout for Casey Zanitis. Coming up now, Maddie Parajon, who was positioned right in front of our broadcast table here in right field. She takes a ball.
And Glenn, that's the first hitter that Zanitis will not get a strike across the plate and get ahead of.
Yeah. Maddie comes in batting .351, sophomore. 24 RBIs on the season. Excuse me, that's wrong. She has 13 RBIs. She fouled that one back, count even at 1-1. Brooke Widows is on deck. She also pitches for Coach Timpson. You'll see her come in a lot later in the game.
Nice change of speed. Yeah.
Off-speed pitch, swing and a miss, a ball and 2 strikes. Zanitis off to a great start here against Appo. And that one's fouled away. First base side, count holds a ball and 2 strikes.
Casey Zanitis being very efficient tonight with her pitches, with her selection. I believe Zeta Rock, the catcher, is calling for her tonight. And at this point of the season, these girls have thrown a lot of innings and a lot of pitches, so efficiency is key.
She's really moving the ball all around, not just up, down, but in, out.
Umpire waved that and said that was just a little too far outside. Casey's really good at clipping the corners.
There's a humpback liner. Nice catch made by Kenzie Hunter, the shortstop. A little bit of a humpback liner, and she timed the jump perfect. Out number 2 brings up Widows. Brooke Widows, the left fielder. And Widows comes in batting .308.
And that play there, Glenn, is just really all about timing. We see a lot of kids jump for a ball and their timing's just off. So Kenzie did a great job reading that ball as soon as it came off the bat to make that play.
Yeah, the tendency would be on a line drive like that to jump too soon.
Yeah.
And have it just float over your head. But I think she read the speed of the ball. And quickly Zanitis gets ahead of Widows. 0-2 count. Trying to retire the side again here in the second inning.
And you're going to see Casey expand this zone here and see if she can get her to chase.
And miss low. Ball and 2 strikes. Both of these teams have just 1 loss, and both of them lost to out-of-state Rising Sun, Maryland. Called strike on the outside corner. Strikeout number 4 for Casey Zanitis. 3 up, 3 down again as we go to the bottom of the second inning, and Caravel up by a score of 1-0. While we have a break, let's go down our latest top 10. Caravel, number 1, Appo, number 2. Sussex Central holding the number 3 spot. Lake Forest has moved up to 4th, and congrats to them for winning the Henlopen South. First time since 2017 as they got that walk-off 1-0 win at home against the Laurel Bulldogs. Laurel drops from 3 down to number 5 with a 10-3 record. At 12-1, St. Mark's is number 6. After St. Mark's, coming in at number 7, we have the red-hot Cape Henlopen Vikings, who got that big win over Polytech last week. Polytech is number 8. They are now 12-3. And congratulations to Mara Everton, who threw a perfect game against St. George's yesterday in a 5-inning win. Number 9 is Indian River, and Smyrna comes in at number 10. That's our top 10 as we bring up the bottom half of the second here, and Caravel will have Zanitis, the pitcher, coming up, along with Bethany Watkins and Peyton Lawson.
Watkins is in that DP spot for Peyton Rice, who is the first baseman in the flex position this evening. And great job to Everton to struggle a little bit in that 1 inning against Cape. I think she just had a hard time finding the zone in that 5th inning when Cape was able to put those runs up and then to turn around and go ahead and pitch a perfect game. So that is a mental hurdle to get over as a young athlete. So credit to her for that, and congratulations on a perfect game.
You being a pitching coach, I want to talk about pitching in the state here in just a moment. We'll do it between innings. That foul ball right in the Appo dugout. Heads up.
Zanitis is not only doing a great job in the circle this year, but she was DP'd for much of the season last year, and she's actually, her bat's on fire. So Randy's kind of keeping her in the lineup as well. We talked to Timpson. Sometimes those kids just work their way in, and you have to have them in the lineup.
Yeah, she's batting .381 coming into the game today. She's fouled 2 back. She's in the hole 0-2 against McCatherine. Catherine, 0-2 pitch, again fouled back. And we saw this happen with the catcher, Zeta Rock. A couple of foul balls, she got the timing down and then roped that line drive.
And you know what these two teams are very good at is giving the next batter information about what they've seen. So they see as many pitches as they can see. They're constantly communicating with their teammates.
Ground ball over to second, bobble, throw to first, still in time to get the out. And that goes Lauren Foltz over to Sophia Miller. 1 gone here in the bottom of the second.
And so by the time these hitters see a pitcher a second time or a third time in a game, They have gathered so much information just from their teammates' experiences too. And that's what makes these two teams 1 and 2. That's what makes them the powerhouse programs that they are.
I agree with you. And I see that all the time in college ball. First pitch from McCathern to Bethany Watkins, the DP, misses for a ball. Bethany comes in batting .321. She's going to go to the University of Delaware. She hits one deep left center field, going back to left fielder. Oh, and she finally makes a stab at it at the end. And on the warning track, making the catch is Brooke Widows, out number 2.
And she had to track that ball for a while. It started to carry. Was wondering if it would get away from her or not. She did a great job to stay on that ball and get that out.
Mentioning Bethany Watkins going to the University of Delaware. However, she's not going for softball. However, we won't say that she might just be a walk-on. Who knows? You might get picked up and play on the team.
And she's an addition to this team that's been productive and been an impact player. As you know, coming up as a senior, we didn't see her much last year, but batting .321 for the Buccaneers this year. In the lineup every day. Yep.
Here's the junior, Peyton Lawston. Her first game back from a long injury. She's only played one game this season. 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs, a pretty productive one game. But, yeah, this is the first time she's come back in a while, and she's in the hole 0-2 against Ayla McCathern. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. A 1-2-3 inning for McCathern. We are through 2 here at Caravel Academy. Number 1 has a run. Number 2 is looking for a run. We'll be back for the 3rd inning right after this.
Turn your vision into a reality with Capstone Homes Design Center, bringing personalization, luxury, and quality all into one location, where you'll meet with our certified design consultant that'll show you exactly what you're choosing, so you can make the best choice for you when designing your new home. From first home to vacation houses, we build and design homes for everyone. Set up your appointment now and design your dream home today at Capstone Homes.
Well, we're back here for the 3rd inning. Glenn Frazier alongside Shannon Tim. And Shannon, I was talking to you moments ago. Well, let's talk about some pitching. Well, first off, these two teams are not 1 and 2 for no reason. Casey Zanitis and Ayla McCathern. Then when you go to number 3, Madge Layfield. Number 4, Lake Forest.
Kara Sumter.
Laurel, Kylie
Hill.
St. Mark's. I think it's, what's her name? I had it right on the tip of my tongue. We'll come up with that.
Zanitis delivers, strike 1.
Yeah, the leadoff batter here is Miller, the first baseman. Appo trying to get a base runner. Then you go to Cape. Cape has
Abby Marsh.
Polytech has Everton. We were just talking about her. Indian River, I'm not sure of that pitcher.
It's Daisy.
Okay,
Daisy
that's right, Miss Daisy. And then Smyrna, of course, the Dennis girl.
And Lindsay Roscoe splitting some time.
And that's why those teams are in the top 10. And once you get past that top 10, I'll tell you, I don't know of too many other top-notch pitchers in the rest of the state. There might be a handful, but I'm not seeing it.
No, and we know this whole game starts in the circle with pitching, and there's another strikeout for Zanitis.
Yep, that is strikeout number 5. Then that brings up the center fielder for Smyrna, Sophia Watson.
We know that this game is so reliant on pitching. Obviously, you have 7 people standing behind you as a pitcher to play defense, but if you can't find the strike zone, you're going to struggle. And so these girls spend, when I say a lot of time, Glenn, that's an understatement. You know, they have to live, eat, and breathe pitching to get to this level and to be successful at it. And, you know, we have some you just rattled off 10 of them right here in the state, you know, right off the top of your head that are quality pitchers for their teams and are doing the work necessary to give their teams the opportunity to be successful every time they step on the field. Zanitis ready to deliver.
Yep, she's got a 1-0 count. There's a 1-1 count now. Swing and a miss on Watson. Looking up that St. Mark's pitcher, I know Gabby Sagione has done a pretty good job for them, but I think she mostly plays the field. Olivia Datillo, however you pronounce it. I think is doing most of the pitching for the
Watson
Spartans.
took another big cut there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And so far, Zanitis has set him down in order. There's a foul ball back behind the Appo dugout
Little
again.
off-speed pitch. Nice mix by Zanitis.
Count holds at 1-2. The number 9 batter, the catcher Sapola, is on deck. She's the number 9 hitter, but she's batting over .570.
Watson steps out.
Trying to break up Zanitis' rhythm a little bit. Now she's in the box at set. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Misses high. And 2-2 is about as far as I remember her going. No, she did have a full count to
She had a
Foltz.
full count to Foltz in the first inning. Other than that, Casey's been pretty efficient with her pitch count this evening.
Swing and a miss, another strikeout, and another 1-2-3 inning. They're going to have to throw down to first. And the top of the third is in the books. 9 up. Oh, so I'm sorry, that was number 8. Second out of this third inning. And so far, 2 strikeouts in each inning for Zanitis. She has 6 now of the 8 batters she's faced. And here's the catcher.
And McCathern's not quite through the Caravel lineup with 3 strikeouts. A little bit of a pitcher's duel here tonight.
Ground ball, second base. With it clean and over to first. And that goes Leah Richardson to Peyton Rice for the final out of this third inning. So now 9 up, 9 down, retired by Zanitis. Appo looking for their first base runner. They're going to have to wait till the 4th inning in the top of the order. For Caravel, coming up here in the bottom of the third, we'll have Kenzie Hunter. And then we'll have Rice, Peyton Rice, the first baseman, and back to the top with Barron.
And actually, Glenn, I'll correct you. Peyton
Okay.
Rice is the flex, so we will not see Peyton Rice bat. She's playing first base, but she's the flex. So after Kenzie Hunter,
Right.
we will roll the order back up to Katrina Barron.
You're right. She's the flex.
That DP flex rule gets everybody. It's a great rule. It gives coaches so much flexibility to play additional players and get kids playing time. It gets a little tricky when you start going from 10 players to 9 players and back to 10 players and where they are in the order and where you can play them in the field. And, you know, used to have a cheat sheet as a coach just to make sure, not only for myself, but as you're keeping a book, trying to keep track of everything. But it is a great rule that's enhanced our game and just given playing time and opportunity to kids. So anything that does that and enhances your game is always a good thing.
This would be a big inning for Appo and Ayla McCathern because she's got the number 9 hitter and then up to the top, and it'll be the second time through the lineup. And it was the 3 and 4 batters that hurt her the first time through. So I'm sure she'd like to go 1, 2, 3 here and not put anybody on for Grigo and Rock.
And Grigo and Rock successful with 2 outs, right? So one of the things we always talk about is when a team gets 2 outs, how do you minimize the damage? Do you allow runs to score? Are you making errors at that point? So that's just something that, you know, they're going to have to keep an eye on and clean up a little bit, is to lessen the damage with 2 outs.
All right, Kenzie Hunter ready to step in. Number 44, and I had to laugh a little bit when the lineup was sent to us. They mistakenly put her grade in for her uniform number and her uniform number in for her grade. That was easy for us to figure out. No such thing as 44th grade. Ball 1 to Hunter.
Yeah, ball low. Kenzie's mom, Sharon's been a staple of the Caravel coaching staff for years. Exciting, I'm sure, to see Kenzie come up now and play at the varsity level. And filling some big shoes, Veronica Diamidi.
She comes in with a .273 batting average. She scored 5 runs in the 10 games. There's a foul ball again down the right field line, out of play. So a ball and 2 strikes on Hunter, followed by the center fielder, Barron.
And Glenn, we're seeing a lot of these right-handed hitters foul the ball off to the right side of the field. So from our vantage point, it's a little tough to tell, but I'm going to guess she's either throwing outside or she's spinning a nice curveball to the outside, and that's the spin keeps that ball foul.
That's
little,
one out. Yeah,
nice little base hit.
Yeah, a little bloop shot.
Here to right field.
So she measured her up and kept it fair and got it in between the infielder and the outfielder. That's the third hit of the game off McCatherine for Caravel.
And with that outside pitch, we teach them to just send it where it's coming from. So if the ball's outside to a righty, go ahead and drive it to right field and see what you can do. You can't always pull off everything.
Katrina Barron now, who flied out to left field in the first inning. Showed bunt.
An aggressive jump from Hunter.
Yeah,
first.
I don't know whether she pulled back or not, but the umpire called it a strike. They still haven't posted anything on the scoreboard.
I was going to say, we don't have confirmation on the scoreboard yet either.
Yeah, I don't think they're sure of it. That's a ball, so it should be a 1-1 count. Yeah, I thought she pulled the bat back, but I think he just called it a strike. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
So at worst, it's a 1-1 count scoreboard. Oh, she did pull back.
There's the bunt. Deadens it nicely. Fielded by McCatherine, and then she
placement.
flipped it over.
And Hunter still rolling to third.
Good base running. McCatherine got it. I don't know whether she thought she was going to flip it all the way to first, but it just barely went over the second baseman's head who was right next to her. That'll go down as a E1. And just what she didn't want to do is put base runners on. Leah Richardson struck out in her only at bat in the first inning, but then Grigo and Rock. There's the steal. They throw it down on one hop. Shortstop picks it up. No advancement by Hunter from third base. Leah Richardson in the hole, 0-1, taken all the way so that they could advance the runner from first. Now she lays down a perfect bunt. Throw to
that's
first.
Gonna score Hunter, and she is safe at first.
Beats it out for an infield single and an RBI, and it's 2-0 Buccaneers.
So it's scored Kenzie Hunter and put Katrina Barron over to third, and she beat it out.
Yep, so now it's 2-0. Nobody out. Runners on the corners for Grigo. And now McCatherine needs to collect herself. She steps back in the circle. Umpire cleaned off the plate. So it looked like a little bit of a delayed suicide squeeze play, but deadened perfectly, and a lot of speed from Leah Richardson to beat that out. She takes off for second. There will be no throw this time. So now second and third, nobody out for Grigo. And Caravel in a position to really break this one open early.
Both runners in scoring position for Haley Grigo.
There it is, fly ball, right center field, being tracked, and it falls in. Another double for her.
2 runs are going to score. Grigo to second.
The last one she hit was to left center, this one to right center, and now it's 4-0. Caravel still nobody out.
And that ball just bounced on the warning track, kicked up to the fence, so the fielder had to wait to be able to do anything with it. 2 RBIs for Haley Grigo.
And here comes Zeta Rock, who knocked in the first run of the game with a double, as we have a meeting inside the circle with the infielders. And now, if you're McCatherine, you just got to limit the damage here. Try to get out of here with just the 4 runs.
And it's a shame, Glenn. She had worked ahead of so many of the hitters early on in these first 2 innings.
They intentionally walk Zeta Rock. They don't even want her to bat. That will set up the force. First and second, nobody out, and now she's going to pitch to Richardson, the right fielder, who struck out in the first.
And with Rock being the catcher, they inserted a courtesy runner. Just not sure who that is yet. I can't see her number.
First pitch to Richardson. She lays down the bunt. Throw third to first, just barely got her, but the runners move up to second and third. So that courtesy runner looks to be number 31, which would be
Gabby Barron, sister to Katrina.
So a sack bunt laid down by Richardson for the first out of the inning. Now Zanitas bats. She grounded out second to first. Now I think I just heard the PA announcer pronounce her name Zanitas. I always thought it was Zanitas.
And I've heard it both ways.
First pitch is a strike to Casey.
So 1 out, runners in scoring position at second and third.
Foul back. Casey in the hole now, 0-2.
So for years we've been saying Zanitas. I've heard it said that way by their own home announcer, and now tonight a different pronunciation. So we will have
Maybe a different announcer.
we will have to double check that. Make sure we're pronouncing it correctly.
Ground ball right
Nice
through the right
base
side.
hit.
One run's in. Making the turn and then holding up is the pinch runner on the corners again, and now it's 5-0 Buccaneers.
And good for Casey to help herself out. It's always exciting when pitchers are able to bat. Number one, we don't always see that. A lot of times they are the DP flex position. And we have a courtesy runner for the pitcher as well. We'll update that when we can read her jersey number. That moves Zeta Rock to third.
Looks
Zanitas
like it,
at first.
it might be Isabella Mendez, a freshman. And the batter is Bethany Watkins, a designated player. Flied out to left.
Still just 1 out.
And McCatherine, realizing that they're probably going to send that runner and let her go, that's a called strike.
And that runner is 22, Isabella Mendez. Good call with the binoculars, Glenn.
And there's a called strike. 0-2 count on Watkins. So I think Mike Lang went down and checked, and we've confirmed it. We had been saying it correctly all along. It's Zanitas, so the PA announcer must be new and got it wrong. Fouled
Foul
straight
ball.
back, still 0-2. This is the 8th batter of the inning.
Definitely didn't expect this as well as McCatherine had thrown in the first 2 innings. But like I said, they gather so much information. They're able to time her up. Caravel just
There's a
barreling
fly
everything
ball.
up.
Center field.
Should be caught.
It is caught.
Runner tags.
Throw to home is
And
caught
will
by the
score
catcher.
easily.
Yep, and they move up to third base as well. So 2 outs, that brings up Peyton Lawston, the center fielder.
Nice sack fly for Watkins. Getting her job done.
Five runs across this inning for Caravel to now lead 6-0 in this third. Swing and a miss. Strike one on Lawston, who struck out her first time up. And again, this is her first game back from an injury. I think Randy Johnson told us only the second game she's played all year. Swing and a miss, 0-2 count. 9th batter of the inning, McCatherine trying to get her and strand that runner at third. As Appa will have the top of the order coming up in the 4th inning. Fouled straight back.
And as hard as it is to see McCatherine struggle in this inning, you have to give credit where credit's due to that Caravel lineup that just, again, took 2 innings, gathered information, and they have come out hot in the third.
Yeah, they have. A lot of the Caravel baseball players have gathered around here now. There's
Nice
a shot to left
by
center.
Peyton Lawston.
That's all the way to the fence. That scores another run, and she'll pull up with a sliding double and an RBI. Timeout now. Head coach Brian Timpson now strides out to the circle. See what he does here now. The team trailing 7-0.
Definitely time for him to make a visit. I'm not quite sure I would have even waited that long just to get out there and give them a little bit of a pep talk and get inside your pitcher's head a little bit. Get some information from your catcher if she's missing her spots, where is she missing. obviously whatever is being called is not being effective. Caravel's able to get their barrels on it and drive it. So
yeah, a lot of line drives. We've seen a fair amount of bunts, especially this inning. Couple beaten out.
And that is a part of our game that's so important and so overlooked. You know, everybody wants to hit the home run and be the hero, but a sacrifice bunt's just as good. If you get your job done, score a run, move a runner, you know, that is such a crucial part of the game that gets overlooked. It's not dramatic. It's not always exciting, but it gets the job done.
Oh, here's Kenzie Hunter again. She led this inning off with a single.
She's in the hole with 1 strike.
There's a shot, and that's going to get through. Lawston is being waved around. She's going to score.
Lawston scores, and Hunter's going to make her way to third as the ball skips
No
away
throw.
from the catcher.
And she's over to third, and it's now 8-0. 2 hits this inning for Hunter.
Yeah, she started all this off as the first batter of the inning for the Bucks.
It brings up the center fielder. Katrina Barron takes a pitch low for a ball. Her second at bat this inning. She reached on an error by the pitcher, McCatherine. She laid a bunt down, and McCatherine scooped it and then lost it. There's a shot right down the first base
And that
line.
is a fair ball.
Yeah, the run scores. She's on her way to second. The throw bounces in, and another extra base hit for Caravel.
And I know you said earlier, I think Brooke Widows pitches a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
surprised we're not seeing a pitching change at this point for Appo.
I thought maybe 2. I thought that's why he was going out. There's a little punch shot. Left field is a fair foul. It's a foul ball.
Foul ball.
This is Leah Richardson, who is singled and struck out. Five doubles in the game for Caravel.
And that is just credit to those line drives, right? We talk about hitting gap to gap and hitting line drives. That's where you focus in your hitting practice.
That just missed.
And with mechanics, those are, you know, that's the goal, right? So they're definitely accomplishing that this evening.
7 hits this inning. 7 hits this inning for Caravel, and that one is going to roll foul. They only had 2 coming into this inning.
They have definitely figured this out. Been super successful in this inning.
So an 0-2 count now. The dangerous Haley Greigel on deck. Off-speed pitch way out in front of it and fouls it off.
A way to hang with that. Leah Richardson just kept her hands back, waited for the ball with a change of speed, able to at least foul it off and fight it off.
Richardson, the 12th batter this inning. Caravel scored 7 runs on 7 hits. High and outside for a ball. And if Appo can't get anything going against Casey Zanitis, they're in jeopardy of being 5 inning, having a 5 inning game here. There's a strikeout finally for McCatherine. She rips off the mask. I'm sure she's not too happy with what happened there. But finally, we have completed 3 innings. 7 runs on 7 hits for Caravel in that inning. They lead 9-0 as we head to the 4th inning, and we'll be back after this on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Today we're at Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware. Come check us out. Matt's Fish Camp features seafood classics, coastal comfort food, and chef-driven specials that pair perfectly with our large selection of craft ales, curated wine list, and camp cocktails. Matt's offers indoor and outdoor dining and is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, happy hour with friends, or enjoy lunch at the Raw Bar. Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware.
Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
Back for the fourth inning here at Caravel. I'll tell you what, it looked like as billed, number one against number two for 2.5 innings in a 1-0 ball game. And what a crooked number put up there in the bottom of the third by Caravel. They score 8 runs on 7 hits. There were 2 Appo errors, and they left 1 runner on. And of those 7 hits, 3 were doubles.
I was going to say 5 doubles on the night, 3 in that inning.
Yep. Top of the order now for Appo. Mia Boyd, the shortstop, takes a called strike, and she was a strikeout victim back in the first inning.
Zanitis just dealing tonight.
That one is hit left side, deep, and it's in the gap. First hit of the game for Appo. Second time through the lineup, and Boyd gets the first double for the Jags. Actually looks like some of the Appo baseball players have turned out here.
It does. They're all lined up down the fence line here, cheering on their softball teammates.
Brings up Lauren Foltz, the second baseman. She also struck out in the first.
And that is the one thing about, a softball or baseball game, like never say die. You have to keep playing. They got to keep swinging. They got to just chip away at it. And that is started with Mia Boyd with the double.
Yep, fouls the first pitch straight back. 0-1 count. There's a shot. That's coming right center. That falls. Take the shutout off the board. Consecutive doubles. Oh, now she's going to try to stretch it for 3, and she makes it. I think that's a double, and she takes third on the throw, but an RBI for Foltz, and Appo's on the board. That brings up Russo, the third baseman. She grounded out to short on a hard ground ball in the first inning.
Zeta Rock out to talk to her pitcher, Casey Zanitis.
And those were 2 well-struck balls in the gaps, left center and right center.
And that's what I was going to say is, looking at the stats from Caravel from that last inning, they earned that. Those are straight up gap hits.
Yeah.
And then Appo comes right out of the gate doing the same.
Called strike. Low in the zone. Russo trying to keep the hit parade going here for Appo.
Got Foltz at third.
Swing and a miss. Throw down to third. Bounces down there. Gets a ride. Now she's going to try to take home. Late throw, and she scores.
Yeah, Grigo double pumped it. I'm not sure if she didn't have a grip or wasn't sure.
Oh-2 count on the batter, Russo. But Appo now with 2 of those runs back, and it's a 9-2 game. And now timeout for head coach Randy Johnson. Wants to go out and settle down the troops a little bit. I don't think he's too happy with the way the ball's being handled by the defense.
But I'll tell you, as a catcher, that's such a hard throw to make with a batter in the box for Zeta Rock to make that throw down the third base line as she's diving back. If it's just a little bit low, it bounces off of her, which it did, in which case Grigo's got to go track that down. She did double pump it. I'm not quite sure why. And if she probably would have let it fly on the first attempt, she might have had a better chance at getting her at home.
I agree with you. I thought she was going to be thrown out at the plate.
I did too, and then
that little hesitation.
She hesitated and clutched that ball a second time. And again, maybe she just didn't have a grip on it. Hard from our vantage point to tell. Grigo's usually pretty sure-handed.
Russo takes outside. 1-2 count on her. No outs here, top of the fourth.
She grounded out to shortstop in the first.
Takes that one low and outside, evens the count at 2-2.
Casey trying to expand that strike zone, see what she can get away with, what can she get called on a corner, what can she get her to chase. Credit to Russo for just being patient, disciplined.
There's a shot, another line drive, third straight hit for Appo this inning. And she's on at first for the designated player, the cleanup batter, Kaylee Clugston, the freshman.
And that looked a little off speed and outside, so she was able to just kind of loop it in here to right field. Clugston, a victim of Zenitis' strikeout on 3 pitches in the second.
Yep.
No outs in the inning here. Pitch delivered.
Called strike on the outside part of the plate.
And you could tell they're outside by the body language of the hitters. You see them kind of leaning in and leaning over, trying to decide, is it going to clip the plate? Is it outside?
Fouled straight back, so no 2 count on Clugston. Parajon is on deck. Well, if you're head coach Timpson and the Appo Jags, you got to feel a little better now that your team came off the field, you're in a 9-0 hole, and you start hitting the ball.
Oh, absolutely. And that is a called strikeout on 3 pitches again.
First out of the inning, that brings up the right fielder, Maddie Parajon. Parajon lined out to the shortstop. Her only time at bat. She topped that one foul right back behind the catcher.
And again, I'm sure his message to them was, it's time to go, number 1. And number 2, you have to keep playing ball. You have to get the ball in play. Good things will happen when you put the ball in play. And they've been able to come out and do that.
Ground ball. Shortstop flips to second for 1. Throw back to first. In
and
time for the double
play.
That will end the inning. Appo gets on the board with consecutive doubles.
And that was Kenzie Hunter to Leah Richardson over to Peyton Rice for the double play.
They just beat Parajon as they get Russo at second base. Headed to the bottom of the 4th inning in this one. 9-2, Caravel on top, and they will have, I think we're all the way around to Haley Grigo again. Yeah, Richardson struck out at the end of the inning, so last inning, 12 batters came to the plate. So it'll be Grigo, Rock, and Paige Richardson for head coach Randy Johnson coming up here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
2 runs for Appo in that inning on 3 hits. I know Coach Timpson joked with us about us being here doing this game. We did this game last year. They had 1 hit in that game. He joked with us before the game. I don't know that he was really excited to see us here and just hoped that they would produce a little better. So congratulations to Appo in that inning to come out. It's a dejecting feeling to be in that inning where they're scoring runs and just base hit after base hit after base hit. And so again, that's credit to the coaching staff and the kids at Appo and that mental piece of the game to just stay in it and focus and make something happen.
Let's see how McCatherine and the Appo defense reacts now after they finally broke through, got a couple of hits, 3 hits that inning, and a couple of runs on the board. They could really use a shutdown inning, but they've got the meat of the order coming up. And here's Haley Grigo. She has 2 doubles, scored 2 runs, and knocked in 2 runs. Takes low, that's a called strike. That's the other thing, too, when you play this game. Well, same thing with baseball. All the umpires are different. They have different zones. You have to see and read what is the umpire going to call. Is he going to call the low ones, let all the high ones go? Is he going to call the outside corner, not the inside?
And that's so hard for pitchers. If your go-to pitch is a rise ball and he doesn't like that top part of the zone, that makes it really tough on that pitcher to adjust that night.
Ground ball through the left side. Grigo's 3 for 3. That'll raise that batting average from 500 upwards. This time, though, just a single.
That'll bring Zeta Rock to the plate, who was intentionally walked in the 3rd inning.
She also has a double. She scored a run, knocked in a run. I would imagine McCatherine's going to be careful with her. First pitch is low in the zone for a ball.
Grigo getting a good jump over there at first base. She's got wheels. She can fly around the base path as well.
Swing and a miss. That's a rare occurrence out of Zeta Rock. 1-1 count. First base Haley Grigo has 9 stolen bases on the season. Oh, there's a shot
Drive
over
by
the left
Zeta
fielder's
Rock.
head, base of the fence. Goes back and gets
gonna
it. Grigo's
score.
being waved around, and she'll score easily, and it's 10-2. Another RBI and a double for Zeta Rock.
Caravel just doing such a great job of, mechanically speaking, of getting the barrel through the zone, timing up the pitch, and extending the barrel on these hits. If you watch their barrel, they extend all the way through the zone. They are getting as much barrel time as they can through the zone to drive these balls out to the outfield as line drives, Glenn.
First pitch to Paige Richardson is low for a ball. And you know what? All these hits, they're line shots in the gaps over the heads. They're not like lazy fly balls.
No. They are driving the ball well this evening.
There's a healthy cut out of Richardson. She misses a ball and a strike. Zeta Rock at second. Nobody out here in the fourth. There's a bunt. Dead and nicely. The catcher comes up with it. Throw to first. And she got her just by a half a stride. Nice play by Emma Sapola down to Sophia Miller. First out of the inning, it moves Rock up to third. I guess technically that goes down as another sack bunt for Paige.
That was great placement on that bunt. She does that so well.
So officially, she's 0 for 1 with 2 sacrifice bunts. First pitch fouled back to Zanitis. She singled and scored last inning.
Casey swinging the bat really well this year. We didn't always see her in the lineup last year. We talked about that earlier tonight. Great when a pitcher can get in there and help her cause offensively.
Another foul back and out of play. With that hit last inning, she's probably batting close to 400 now. 0-2 count on her.
Casey headed to Rowan University, continue playing softball and get her education next year.
Well, she did a great job just to foul that off.
Absolutely. Just throw the barrel out there and
that was way out of the zone.
yeah, just flare it off a little bit.
Zeta Rock down at third base, representing run number 11. Change up, and that missed. Pretty good pitch decision there with an 0-2 count. See if she can get Zanitis to chase. Bethany Watkins on deck.
Zeta Rock still over at third base.
Oh, there's a shot. Center fielder, gone! Home run for the pitcher, Casey Zanitis. And now it's a 12-2 ball game.
And that was a line drive out of here. Didn't clear the fence by much height-wise, but landed well on the hill up here.
And again, we did not expect this at all, this 12-2 game between number 1 and number 2.
Not at all. And the first couple innings were pitchers' duels. They were both getting ahead of their hitters, striking people out, and the bats have come alive.
Brian Timpson, the head coach of Appo, with a visit to the circle. Let's see if he makes a change here. Looks like he's going to stay with McCaffrey. Yep, he will.
That is 12 hits for Caravel tonight. If I've done all my math correctly, Glenn.
You are correct. That's what I have. 12 runs on 12 hits, and that's the first home run of the game. We thought we might see a couple tonight because there was a little breeze blowing out, but the flag right now in center is just limp. All right, here's Bethany Watkins at DP. She hits a shot out here to right, and that is caught out here in right field by Maddie Parajon for out number 2. That brings up Peyton Lawston, left fielder. 1 for 2. She's doubled with an RBI and struck out. Now keep in mind now here, we've got the 5th inning coming up. In the top of the 5th, Appo has to score a run to keep this game going.
McCathern with 4 strikeouts tonight.
Swing and a miss by Poston, or Loston.
All those strikeouts came early on, and this Caravel team has figured it out.
Yeah, they had her measured up from the 3rd inning on. There's another little humpback liner, and that'll be retired by the second baseman, Lauren Foltz, to end the inning. We are through 4, headed to the top of the 5th. It's going to be a run roll game unless Appo can score. It's 12-2 in favor of Caravel. Back after this.
7 days a week, year-round. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Today we're at Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware. Come check us out. Matt's Fish Camp features seafood classics, coastal comfort food, and chef-driven specials that pair perfectly with our large selection of craft ales, curated wine list, and camp cocktails. Matt's offers indoor and outdoor dining and is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, happy hour with friends, or enjoy lunch at the Raw Bar. Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round. See you soon.
Get the assurance that your HVAC system is what you need with Ambience. Ambience provides you with over 25 years of experience in the heating, cooling, and plumbing industry. The team at Ambience Heating and Air Conditioning provides high-quality residential HVAC installations, maintenance, and repairs in new and older homes in the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania tri-state area. You may not realize it, but half of your energy costs go to heating and cooling. Make sure your energy dollars count and call us today for a free estimate. 302-239-HVAC. 302-239-4822.
Our first state ortho game of the week has turned out to be a little bit lopsided here as number 1 ranked Caravel Academy with a 12-2 lead over second ranked Appo. We're in the top of the 5th inning. The Jags have to score at least a run to extend this ball game. And we do have a final now. Boys lacrosse, Caravel has gone down to Smyrna by a score of 10-2. So there are no longer any undefeated lacrosse teams in the state.
Zanitis delivers that pitch, fouled off by Brooke Widows, who struck out in her first at-bat. And Glenn, this is the 5th inning, but it's only the second time that these girls are seeing the pitching from Zanitis because she's been so efficient and so effective.
That misses high. 1-1 count. So after Widows, we have Miller and Watson. There's a fly ball center field, but right at the center fielder, positioned perfectly, and Katrina Barron makes the catch, out number 1. It brings up Sophia Miller, the first baseman, struck out her only time up. Zanitis ready in the circle.
Second baseman tonight for the Jags.
That's fouled off. Left-handed Miller is ready. Just missed low, maybe a little outside, a ball and a strike to her. Zanitis works quickly. There's a line drive the opposite way and just out of the reach of the shortstop into left field for a single. Only the 4th hit of the game for Appo. They have a 1-out base runner now for Watson, the center fielder.
Watson struck out in her first at-bat.
Came in with 4 home runs to lead Appo this season. 16 RBIs, a .412 batting average. And she's batting in the 8-hole.
Yeah, she took Zanitis to 6 pitches, though, so that's a quality at-bat.
Fouls this one back and out of play. The catcher, Emma Sapola, on deck. And now timeout called by Watson. That one's fouled also. Back and out of play behind the Appo dugout. So an 0-2 count on Watson.
There have been a lot of foul balls this evening, and that is just, again, credit to the style of both of these pitchers. They're both able to spin the ball very well, and sometimes that's all hitters can do with it is foul it off. I would hedge a bet they're on the outside of the plate because they all keep coming to this right side of the field.
Once again, Watson trying to disrupt the pace of Zenitis. Calls time. Got to be a lot of foul balls to get out into that baseball field.
Oh, I'm sure.
Pitch. And it misses outside. 1-2 count to Watson. Miller at first base. She singled through the left side. That looked like it hit her. I was going to say it either hit her or the nub of the bat. The first hit batter of the game now puts a runner in scoring position for the Jags with one out for the catcher, Emma Sapola.
Grounded out to the second baseman in the third inning. Appo with 2 on now. Need to score here to continue this game and not have it be 10-run rule.
As Sapola leads the team coming in today with 19 hits. That's a called strike. Top of the order on deck. That misses down low. Count evens up at 1-1 on Sapola. Mia Boyd on deck. She doubled last inning.
Base hit here could score a run from second base.
She checked her swing. Now they're going to look at the umpire. He said no swing. I thought she checked as well. Runs the count to 2-1. Tonight has almost got her going on that high pitch. That one's fouled off, first base side again. 2-2 count now on Sapola.
Again, Zenitis has a lot of freedom here to play around in the zone. She's got a big lead. They've put great numbers up for her offensive production tonight.
Ground ball in the infield to the pitcher, Zenitis. She's going to take the out at first. The other two runners advanced to second and third for leadoff batter Mia Boyd, who doubled and scored last inning.
And so she's able to, play around with the strike zone a little bit. She doesn't have to be exact, and she doesn't have to be dead on. That pressure is not on her right now, where it is on Ayla McCatherine. She really can't afford to have a miss or to hang a pitch where they're going to drive something. So it's a completely different feel for each pitcher as this ball game progresses here tonight.
Interesting meeting right now in the circle with catcher Rock and pitcher Zenitis, talking about, I'm sure, how to pitch Boyd after she doubled last inning.
Absolutely. Making sure they're on the same page before this at-bat even starts.
Boyd steps in the box. She's 1 for 2 in the game. 2 outs, runners at second and third for Appo.
She scored one of the 2 Appo runs on the board.
Takes a strike right down the middle on first pitch. Zenitis again works rather quickly. That missed outside. 1-1 count on Boyd.
Base hit here will score a run.
Ground ball, left side, foul. Must have been something off speed because Boyd was way out in front of that one. A ball and 2 strikes.
I got to tell you, I'm surprised to see Appo not go into the short game here. Not trying to lay down a bunt.
Right down the middle, called strike to end the ball game. That's a run rule, 12-2 win in 5 innings for Caravel Academy. So number 1 remains undefeated against in-state opposition. For Appo, they fall to 12-2, and that's their first loss to a Delaware opponent. We'll be right back to wrap things up right after these messages.
Turn your vision into a reality with Capstone Homes Design Center, bringing personalization, luxury, and quality all into one location, where you'll meet with our certified design consultant that'll show you exactly what you're choosing, so you can make the best choice for you when designing your new home. From first home to vacation houses, we build and design homes for everyone. Set up your appointment now and design your dream home today at Capstone Homes.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy.
But have you tried Premier? Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy.
But have you tried Premier?
Back here after number 1 defeats number 2 here in our softball rankings. 12-2 5-inning win for the Caravel Buccaneers. Winning pitcher is Casey Zanitis, and she had some pretty good numbers. She was really moving the ball around well in the zone.
Absolutely. Got them to chase a little bit, got them to foul off some pitches. Casey's numbers are 4 hits, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts on the night. Little surprised that Appo struggled in the circle. You know, Ayla McCatherine's been really steady, but it is tough to face that Caravel lineup. Ayla's numbers are total hits 12, runs 12, with 4 strikeouts that all came early in the game.
You and I talked about it during the break. We're going to have co-players of the game for Caravel. The pitcher, Casey Zanitis, who did an outstanding job against a really good offensive lineup for Appo. And then also Haley Grigo, 3 for 3, 2 doubles. She scored 3 runs, and she had 2 RBIs. So her run production was 5 of those 12 runs. Haley Grigo continues to produce for head coach Randy Johnson. Those 2 are players of the game. So that just about wraps it up here. I know when we go off the air, we'll have some interviews for you on the website a little bit later on, maybe tonight or tomorrow, and Shannon's going to take care of that. So for Nick Halliday, Mike Lang, Jason Winchell, Shannon Timmons, I'm Glenn Frazier. So long from Caravel Academy. Once again, our first state ortho game of the week final, Caravel 12, Appo 2. Have a great night.